24th, 2025, and this is our 9 o'clock work session. If everybody would join us in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and invite Reverend Whitlock up. He's walking up to give us the blessing today. Today is my wife's birthday, so I want to wish Andrea a happy birthday. And Reverend Whitlock had a birthday the other day. So before you start blessing, I think we're going to sing happy birthday to you, sir.
That's all right. Good. All right.
Squire Sebastian, would you please join us in a little happy birthday?
And I'll just say, September birthdays.
Yeah. I knew you'd be a little partial.
Right.
Yeah.
Jayla Hopper, do you agree?
I agree.
I agree.
So we got some main September birthdays in
Yeah.
here. All right, everybody, if you would join me.
Let's go.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, God.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Reverend Whitlock.
Les. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being so kind. And thank you, Judge. May we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, which art in heaven, well, thank you for allowing each and every one of us to come together on this beautiful day that you have made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we know best the great responsibility that's placed on all those whom you have allowed to represent your people in this fiscal court. Heavenly Father, I pray that you will give them clarity of mind, patience, and the wisdom to execute their specific duties. Heavenly Father, I pray that you guide this fiscal court as they work to move this county forward in the midst of these unprecedented times of the flooding and the rebuilding. Lord, we all come this morning, ask you to help us to lean, as you said in your word, to lean not on our own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge you, so they will direct your path. Heavenly Father, I pray this morning that you are always and allow us the Spirit to fall afresh upon the county judge, executive, and the entire fiscal court body, in order that they may find common ground on the issues they are charged to handle. Lord, as they do your will, I pray that you bind them together in peace and harmony, and allow their decision to be made with integrity. Most of all, Heavenly Father, help this fiscal court to forget those things which are behind and reach forth unto those things which are before, and press toward the mark of the prize of the high calling of Christ in God Jesus and Lord Jesus. Forgive us of our sins. In the name of Jesus, I do pray. Amen.
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 Thank you very much, Reverend Whitlock. Have a great day. Alrighty, moving on, public comments. Do we have any public comments today with us? Seeing no public comments, I'm going to invite Duke Wilburn up, our road superintendent. And how you doing this morning, Duke?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are y'all?
I'm doing well. We're doing well, I hope. Yeah.
Good. I'd just like to update the court on what the road crew's been up to last couple of weeks. We're doing quite a bit of road repair, base failures around the county. We got the mow trim out in 5th District. Roadside mowing going on in the 1st District.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Of course, we're doing our limb pickup every Thursday and Friday. And then our yard waste on Wednesdays going on today, so.
Duke, you want to bring us up to speed on, I know we had a road committee meeting yesterday. You want to talk a little bit about our project that hopefully we're getting ready to close out down there?
Yes, sir. All the paving work's been completed. Of course, our fuel tanks are up and running now. Robinson finally, they got some fittings in that they had to order for where they were able to put fuel in those tanks. So that's all been done. They actually filled them up yesterday. So then our pole barn's completed. So we're getting really close to finishing that project up, and it looks real nice. So,
and I'm hoping probably next month we'll pull together a ribbon cutting for that event. So Jenny will talk to you all about that. But we just wanted everything to be 110%. So got a couple drains to adjust hopefully in the next couple weeks. And
Right.
then after that, it's done. So, yeah, it's exciting. Any questions for Duke while he's with us this morning?
Judge, just,
Go ahead.
Duke, we have, what, maybe a month left for Yard Waste Wednesdays? What's the fall date?
Yeah, I think,
For that.
November is the end of it,
Okay.
I believe.
Had some folks reaching out.
First part of November, can't remember the exact date, but
Okay, thanks.
Squire Sebastian?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Road Supervisor, can you tell us a little bit about waste tires? Typically, that happens in October, and it kind of rotates through the counties.
right.
Do you know which county is going to host that? Have you heard yet?
I have not heard.
When-
I
when
know
you-
they've got a list out, but I haven't seen it.
When you do hear, could you apprise the court just so we can make that information available to our constituents?
sure will.
Who may have waste tires? Because I'm frankly tired of just picking them up out in the first district on the side of the road.
Right.
Thank you.
Duke, let me ask you a follow-up question, Squire Sebastian's. So if, let's say, Anderson County is this year's, we can still take them to Anderson County with a valid Kentucky driver's license,
You
correct?
can, yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, because I think a lot of people think that we can't. It has to be in your county, so just want to make sure everybody
Right.
realizes.
I think you actually show an ID and
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
drop them.
Just wanted to make sure anybody watching realizes that, because to Squire Sebastian's point, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there's no reason to dump them on the side of the road.
No.
We pick them up all the time. I don't know why people do that, because
Yep.
there's ways to dispose of them properly.
And then, the two new trucks that we bought last year, you want to bring everybody up to speed on those?
Yes, sir, we got those back from Edinger. All we like on those is putting our sideboards on them. We got those yesterday. We took some logs to the sawmill, and had those sawed up, so we'll be doing that. Travis will probably get that done this week.
So in
And then
theory, we'll have two
they're
new trucks
operational, be ready to go.
next week on the road.
Yep.
And they're completely set up for snow and everything, correct?
They're ready to go. Yep.
So, all right, any other questions for Duke while he is with us this morning? Duke,
Thank
thank you. I appreciate everything you and the guys do to keep our county looking beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, thank you. All righty, judge's report. First news on the 31st, and it has on here sweet news. I think it's pretty cool. Rebecca Ruth Candy Factory was featured in Southern Living magazine. So I think everybody should be proud of that. I thought it was 3 generations, but it's actually 4th generation, and Sarah Boo is the new operating manager there. So, so she admits it's big shoes to fill, but she's carrying on the family legacy. So I think that's pretty darn cool here right in downtown Frankfort. So, went to a joint training meeting in Berea, pretty much about workforce. We had a proclamation at the Senior Center for Senior Center Month. So I know the Senior Center is near and dear to most of our hearts in this room. I do know they're going through some stuff as far as some budget things right now. So I think we're following up with them, but we're trying to kind of navigate those waters right now. The Chamber had their big golf scramble. That was a big deal, and everything's good as far as with the Chamber. Andrew, you still with us? We got picks coming up?
Yeah, we got some here coming.
Okay, well, I'm not seeing any yet. Alrighty, so here we are. So our very own Tina, and I think we had talked about this, she presented at the Kentucky Association of Mitigation Managers Conference. So rumor has it she killed it. She did a very good presentation. So just want to say well done to Miss Tina Peck. That is on our P&Z staff. We went to the inaugural Sam and Chloe Coleman KSU fundraiser. That was actually in Lexington. And Sheriff Depp and Jailer Hopper and some other people were there with us. There's the president of Kentucky State University, Dr. Capo. Mr. Coleman's long life, his parents went to Kentucky State University. He is basically wanting to very much support the school. So I think he was trying to raise $100,000 or so that night, and that was in Fayette County, actually out on a farm. So they're going to continue to do that, I believe, kind of all over the state. And Kentucky State University has a lot of momentum going right now, so that's great to see. I had the Judge Executive's Fall Retreat in Cumberland Falls. That was always great to catch up with other county judges around the state. Went to the library, and we did a proclamation for the National Literacy Month at the library. There's our First Lady, Brittany Bashir, she spoke, Kelly Anderson, and a lot of the staff members there. So they actually received an award for the state for what they're doing at Thornhill Education. So I know we support Thornhill very much so, but it's good to see that the state recognizes what they're doing on the state level here in Frankfort. So that's something we should all be proud of. Capital City Airport Aviation Day, our very own Jack Kennedy got up and did the welcome for us. I was out of town, and I believe Sheriff Depp was there also. I heard it was an amazing event. I know when we met with the airport people a couple months ago about some new projects they're doing, they're talking about expanding everything and building some more hangars. And I think they're gonna, it's every 2-year thing they do Aviation Day, but I believe they're looking to do it every year now. From what I heard, there's a lot of people there and a lot of interest, so I think that's a great thing. Went to the, yesterday I spoke and did a proclamation at Active Day of Frankfort. It's on the west side over there, kind of off Hickory Hollow? Hudson Hollow. Yeah, very, very nice people. There's about 22 to 30 people each day that go there. It's kind of an adult daycare from all levels of, issues, I guess you could say, but it was very nice to be there. It was good to talk to people. They had some good questions about, what Fiscal Court does and how the community functions, so that was nice, and just appreciate everything they do over there. Had a meeting with Senate President Robert Stivers, and then I met with Representative Jason Petro and Representative Josh Bray, and that was all with our lobbyist, trying to get some momentum on where we are here in Franklin County. Upcoming events today, there's actually a community yard sale at the Dominion Senior Living. So if anybody's kicking around, they want to go to a yard sale today, there you go. And then this weekend at Lakeview Park, they've kind of, I think, rented the park, but we're not necessarily part of this, but it's the Latino Festival. They're doing a 2-day Latino Festival at Lakeview Park. So we wish them well, and hopefully they'll it looks like it's going to be beautiful weather, and hopefully that bring a lot of people to our community from, they're shooting for Lexington and Louisville. So yep, all is well. I'm going to keep moving. Yes, go ahead, Squire.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'd like to take just a moment of personal privilege if I could.
Yep.
We know how important families are. They are really the first lines of support and the most vital support that we have for public servants. And so within the last 2 weeks, 2 long-term public servants here in Franklin County have lost their spouses. So I just think it would be a very fitting thing if we'd take a moment just to recognize the spouse of Harold Robinson, Charlotte Robinson. Harold was 5th District Magistrate for quite some time.
A long time.
Left really big shoes to fill. Actually, I don't think he was 5th, maybe he was 4th. Left really large shoes to fill, and then Church Quarles lost his wife, Eloise, this past week. And so leaves a big hole in your life, and it's your most vibrant supporter in everything that you do. So it's certainly worth a moment of our time to recognize what they've done and what they've given and the loss that they've sustained.
Absolutely. We'll take a moment of silence for both those individuals. Thank you very much, Squire Sebastian. That was very nice.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So, already, Squire.
I found the waste tire event thing, and I just sent it to everybody. If it could just announce it quickly. It is not going to be anywhere here close. It looks like Grayson, Kentucky on October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and Sandy Hook on 9th, 10th, and 11th, and then down in Mount Olivet, October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and Maysville, 9th, 10th, and 11th. So unfortunately, nowhere terribly close this year for us, but it looks like it swings back to maybe Shelby County next year. So
I thought I thought there was multiple ones. Isn't
Yeah,
there?
they are. There's 2 in our district.
Yeah.
Not the
Okay.
way the
No, thank you for looking
map
that up,
looks.
Sheriff. Yeah. We'll keep digging a little bit on that one. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump to minutes from our special meeting of September 10th, 2025. Any questions, concerns, comments about those? Alrighty, seeing none. Minutes from our regular meeting of September 10th, 2025. and then I believe,
Judge, just
yeah, go ahead, Squire.
a comment. I quite often harp on these minutes and the way that we do them, but I just want to point out a sort of a very glaring difference here that kind of exemplifies my point. The minutes we have from September 10th not only have the time that we came together, roll call of our members, that we had a discussion about the fact district and that no action was taken, and then we adjourn, as I believe should be protocol for all work sessions. But then the very next agenda for the 10th, that same day, we go into just the voting meeting at 6:40 p.m. We don't have any of that basic information for the work session. So I'm just continually asking that we treated these separately. Either we run our meetings as one, and when we come together here at 9 a.m., we reflect the time and who's present from here on out, and we treat every meeting the same, or something needs to happen differently. But this exemplifies in my mind what I've been talking about for the last year really intently, that occasionally we will record a work session with members even present, and then at other times we completely ignore it and don't have any record that we even have a meeting. So I'm asking again that we find some way to better reflect these that I think we're legally obligated to do. So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Squire. All righty, I believe, is our sheriff with us? I thought,
He stepped out,
he did. Hey,
but I can speak on behalf
okay,
of him.
so the next one is the sheriff's fourth quarter report. So go ahead, Kim.
This was overlooked, so they realized it and then they submitted to court for approval.
Can you say that again? What is this?
This is the amended fourth quarter 24 report, and they overlooked it, so they submitted it for us to receive.
Okay, any questions on this? I'm assuming he's probably gonna come back if he had to go to an emergency. Okay, well, hopefully everything's okay out in our community. If sheriff had to leave, it had to have been probably something serious. Alrighty, next I believe the jailer Hopper's with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Good.
You solo or you? Oh, okay, here, okay,
No,
here
I'm
we
not
go.
solo. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Good, how are you all?
Okay, so this is about the cameras at the jail.
Yes, so this was the results from the rebid. There was only one, and that was Liberty Telephone. And then, so the price on this one is the exact same price as our last bid.
Okay,
And this one does include the removal and installation.
okay, because I believe the court had asked you to go
Yes.
back and make sure the removal of the existing wire and things were in the RFP, is that right?
They did, yes.
Okay, perfect. Any questions for jail about the cameras project? Squire Wisman.
The documents that we have, who was at the bid opening? Is that what this, Laura, I see your name, but was it
Yes.
just two folks?
It
at the bid
was,
opening?
yes.
Okay, who was the other that's on this?
Our chief, Richard LeMay.
Okay, I couldn't read it. Okay. Thanks.
Since you all are here, let me ask, what is the, if this gets approved today, what's kind of the timeline as far as them coming in and actually doing this project? Do you all know that yet?
It'll be starting the second week of October.
Okay, and how big of a project or long
The
is it?
pulling the wire will be probably the biggest undertaking of this.
Couple weeks, all in?
Yeah.
Probably start, couple weeks, start to finish, probably?
Yes.
Okay. Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you all for being with us. I did have a question in regard to the bid. In the description where it introduces the demo and removal of the old system and the old wiring, has a quantity of 100. It's 100 what? 100 pieces of wire? You know, everything else I can understand. 2 cameras, 5 cameras, 4 boxes. But where that says 100, I'm not really clear on what that 100 means. And there's a list of a quantity and a rate for that quantity.
That would be,
But
it looks like that portion is for the removal of all of the old systems, wires.
Yeah, so
'Cause that's
I
what-
just don't
that's
know
what
what
they're
100
doing.
means. I mean, is
If
it
that
100
means
pieces of wire?
100 connections.
Yeah, I just,
100 connectors.
yeah, I'm not really sure what that means. Just
If-
because it's just not clear, not that,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bog that
Yeah.
down, I just want to
No.
understand
Yeah.
if that's kind of on target,
Yes.
because there may be a whole lot more, and if they get into more, do we have an issue? That's all.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm
Yeah.
going with it.
No, there'll be no issues, and,
Okay.
you know, it would be, it will fall within that 100 of
Okay.
connectors. And I think you have actually peeked your head up in the ceiling there to see what what an interesting, how that is, how we just laid wires on top of wires on top of wires, and now we're gonna clean it out.
I just wanted to make sure I understood the 100,
Yeah.
because if it comes out and there's 107,
Yes.
do we have some kind of problem with whatever that
Yeah.
100 is? But if we don't, if you're assuring me of that, that's
Yeah.
great, thank you.
Squire Wisman.
I wonder if somebody could just walk me through, I just want to be sure that we're not got an instance where the entire camera system may be down for a week. I'm assuming that they're going to install the whole new system before taking out the old one and have it completely functional, but it didn't state anything to that specific effect, which would seem to be a little bit of duplicative work that
It'll
they're
be in
going
a
to have to be.
phase. It won't be the entire camera system out for the entire,
So, but the intent is to take some of it out of functionality while they're replacing it in different sections at a time, or will
so
the,
we're going to web-based. So what's there currently can stay the web-based, then that's pulling the wires, making everything new. That's what we will, the cameras will not go down, as far as throughout the facility while this switch is being made, because it's a web-based camera.
So basically, they can build the new system and then pull all the old stuff out.
that's what I'm asking for you all to
Sounds like,
verify.
yeah.
Yes, sir. The current camera system is operated off of about 8 different DVRs, and we have redundancies in place. There are 2 camera angles for every area of the jail. So when they pull that DVR down and install the new cameras, that's immediately going to a web-based camera system. So we'll retain the other 8 DVRs. So it'll be a process as it goes.
I just wanted to verify. I didn't
Yeah.
want to get a call that's, oh, we had a mistake and we don't have camera footage for a
No,
week or something.
we thought about that. That's, it's a vital resource.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Thanks.
Absolutely. It's a good question, Squire. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Alrighty, the next agenda item, I believe our very own Commonwealth Attorney, County Attorney. Why do I keep saying that? I don't know why that comes out. I don't even know those guys over there. That's weird. Sorry about that.
This is the next phase of the settlements for the opioid litigation that we're involved in. This is for approval of the settlement documents for 8 secondary providers. It looks like the total is $1.2 billion from these 8 different providers. As with the other ones, as far as the breakdown of what we're going to get or what the state's going to get has not been made yet. But in order to participate in that settlement and be able to get access to those funds, we have to approve this, and the fiscal court has to vote on it.
Any questions for our county attorney on this one? Basically, I've got a bunch of emails saying, we need to sign this and let's go after this other money. And so basically, when I sent it to Max, he's like, look, we need to take this in front of the court. It's just in our hopes to receive more opioid money. So any questions for Max on this agenda item? Squire Wisman.
Just, Max, do you have any more background? I don't unfortunately know. This was 2 states or Kentucky independently that went after this money, right?
It was multiple states from my understanding. It's not just a couple.
Okay. I couldn't remember the exact details, but I remember it was somewhat set out against some of the other settlements.
Now,
Never-
Kentucky
never mind.
did a separate settlement. The Attorney General's office did a separate one for, I think it was Kroger, but I think these are all the other
Okay.
lumped in as far as those drug manufacturers. And
Thanks.
where it says secondary, these are like the generic prescriptions. So that's the secondary part of it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, that's really exciting.
I appreciate that news.
If we get much of it.
All right, this is the next agenda item. If it's okay with the court, Bill's running just a couple minutes late, so if it's okay, I'm gonna jump around just a little bit with everybody until he can get here. So let's go ahead and jump to Belinda. Belinda's here. Yep, we're gonna talk about the MOA with the agencies with the opioids funds for the fiscal court, so, number 9.
Yes,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. You doing well?
We're fabulous today.
Good.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so what we have today, these are a memorandum of understanding, an attestation to follow accounting best practices, an attestation to fiduciary responsibility, and authorized representative attestation documents. And that was left on your desk because it got left out of the packet. So you should have it now. And we would like to have all of the agencies receiving opioid funds sign these documents in an effort to establish best practices as we begin distribution of the opioid funds. We've been working with KCO, and they provided these documents. We added some language to the MOU to fit our program, such as payment schedule requirements under item 1, adding a report with each quarterly invoice they send us under item 3, and a requirement to provide all necessary information required for the county to meet the state's reporting requirements, and that's under section 5. And we did leave that a little open because this past year, the state changed their requirements. If they change them again next year, we want to have an agreement in place that says, no matter what the state requires, they're going to help us meet those needs. The county attorneys reviewed these documents. I was also involved in a meeting we had with the agencies earlier in the month to go over all of the requirements that will be involved in receiving opioid funds. And we just wanted to bring these to you guys before we send them out to the agencies for signature to make sure you feel comfortable with all of those documents before we have them signed. So if you're okay with them, we're going to send them out to the agencies, and then I'll be back on the 29th so you can approve each individual agreement. Lauren Carr, who is the KCO opioid settlement advisor, I think most of you all have probably met her. She's been involved in this process, and she's been kind enough to review each of the projects we're funding to make sure they comply with funding requirements and that the agencies all understand the reporting that'll be necessary from them and that we have to do moving forward. The last thing I want to tell you is that the Yes card requires slightly different paperwork because their funding is going to be through the health department. That's who we'll be paying. And the health department by state law requires a cash basis accrual that will need a slightly different attestation to follow accounting best practices. They just got that back to us last Thursday. There wasn't time to get it reviewed and to get it on the agenda for you guys, so I'll be bringing that at the next court meeting to let you all look at that. It won't be drastically different, but I did want you all to be able to see it before we have them sign it.
Guardikis.
Judge, I'm not sure if this is a good time to do this or not, but it seems like maybe it is. There was a mistake, and it very well could have been on my part. Is this okay to bring up now, do you think? Okay.
You're looking at me, but I don't know what you're talking
Okay, well.
I can't say if
I
it's
need
a
to
good
get it
time
out
or bad.
first,
I'm
right?
like,
And then you can tell me no.
okay.
So there was a mistake, and it very well could have been my mistake. We don't know. We don't know what happened, so I'm just going to own it. When we were going through the funding, the opioid funding for our nonprofits, Fresh Start had sent in a new application because they had one director had left and another one had come on, so it was a little bit fuzzy what happened. So anyway, I saw it and did not catch the mistake in the Finance Committee meeting. And so what I would like to do, we did not give them what we gave everybody else based on their old application, not the new one. What I'm proposing is to give them another 10 grand. That would keep them up with everybody else that we funded, except for Thornhill, which got a lot more for other reasons, but it's just something I'd like the court to consider.
If you don't mind, let's run that back through, committee.
We will, yep.
We'll, yeah.
But I wanted to let everybody
That's
know,
fine.
because I feel horrible about it.
Okay.
I feel so guilty about it.
All
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
And I want to thank Belinda for pulling those agencies together, because I know when we did our budget, some of their things were paid for out of the opioids, and it's very important that everybody's doing the reporting correctly. So I appreciate you all pulling them all in the room together with Lauren at KCO to kind of say, this is what's legal, this is what's not, and this is what we need to do, so there's no issues down the road,
Yeah,
so. that was
we're
very-
really trying to get best practices
Yeah.
set up from day one before we move forward, and we don't
Yeah.
want to get ahead of that.
That's perfect.
And Belinda, if I'm correct in this meeting, all the participating
Mike.
organizations had,
Oh, sorry.
had no problem with this MOU or any of the attestations or anything
Right,
like
the
that.
only
They
issue
actually
that came up-
participated in helping create these.
Right, and so you'll notice in the memorandum of agreement, they have to attach a brief description and a project title. We're going to have Lauren Carr review that again, just to double check that that is very specific and meets the guidelines. We also are aware that the city is also giving opioid funds, so there was a big conversation about making sure that our project with county funds is distinct from the city's project with city funds, so that our reporting doesn't overlap, and so that we keep all of that in line. And so I think we're really off on to a good start.
Perfect. Squirrel Whisperer, do you have a hand up?
I just wanted to say, I've been with Belinda on this journey a little bit, and she has done a phenomenal job.
Thank
I
you.
mean, absolutely beautiful job, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Squirrel Whisperer.
Belinda, I'm wondering, can any of those opioid funds be used? It would seem that this may be, I really like this, and I'll talk more about it in a second, but it may be a burden for accounting practices and things for some of the smaller agencies. Can any of those funds be used specifically, or do we know, for helping offset the cost of having a CPA help or whatever may be required?
You mean having, I'm not sure I understand your question.
Like
Are
if they
you
had to hire
saying-
somebody to navigate it?
Yeah.
So can, like, we,
By the
if
individual
we give
agencies.
you $10,000 in opioid funds, you want to use 1,000 of that to hire someone to help you with the accounting? That's a great question, and I'm going to say I do not believe so, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I can find out and let you guys know. But
Just-
I don't know for sure.
Just, I'm imagining that some of this very small agencies are going to have a little bit of trouble
With
navigating
the auditing
reporting.
and, yeah.
So, but otherwise, I just wanted to comment that I love this, and a couple of years ago when we started out this process, I said, let's put in something in place that every agency has to promise to use funds that we give them for a public purpose, and I'd like to see us implement maybe modified forms for every funding amount that comes out of Fiscal Court to go to other agencies in the future. These are really good base, and what I've been wanting to see something very similar to, so just my comment that, congratulations.
But Belinda, in addition to that question, it's my understanding, I don't believe any of the 6 or 7 agencies that were here during that training were gonna have any problems. They didn't foresee like needing them, just to let you know. I don't think anyone that we're dealing with currently said they're gonna have an issue with reporting and what they're doing.
I'm just thinking ahead, we have $400,000 to distribute at some point, right? And,
Yeah.
let's kind of go ahead and figure out if we have some small agencies that can make use of those funds.
Well,
That's right, I guess.
most of these agencies are also getting a little bit of state funding, or some of them are,
Yeah.
and so they know what's required, and
It's
when
not just for us.
Right, when I spoke with them, they felt confident that they could do the reporting
Yeah.
and all of those things, so
Perfect.
I feel fairly confident that
Yeah,
they can
good.
do
Yeah,
that.
and Lauren did give them some resources for reporting, not specifically for their accounting, but just there are some resources for statistics and things like that that will help them get that organized.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Belinda. And I believe the next one, rumor has it we're gonna table, is that correct?
Yes. So this was a application to the Office of Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention, and the Wanda J. Robinson Foundation would like to apply for it. It's a mentoring grant. However, they want to get some things straight before we move forward with the application. So if we are going to move forward, I'll bring it back at the next meeting.
Okay. Alrighty, the next one?
So this is authorization to apply for a County Priority Projects Program grant from the Transportation Cabinet, Department of Rural and Municipal Aid. The grant provides funding for the resurfacing and repair of existing county roads to bring them back to their original condition. You can't do anything extra, you can't add capacity or anything like that, but it's just to bring it back to its original shape. Each project has to be $500,000 or less, but we can apply for more than one road, and we have to rank them by priority. There is a 20% local match required for any project that is funded. The cooperative road funds may be used for the match. There is a chart in your abstract that shows the estimated cost and local match for each of the 5 roads that is included in the application. The awards are chosen by the General Assembly and will be selected during the 2026 section. Duke is here if you have any questions about the specific roads. And I'd be happy to turn it over to him if you have questions, because I don't know all the answers.
Any questions on these roads? You know, I think it's just kind of what the state transportation feels like they need to do now, right, Duke?
Yes. Some of the, and the way we ranked these were, we applied for some FEMA funds for a couple of these roads and we got denied, so, and they're gonna be very expensive to repair, so that's kind of why they're in the order they're in, if you want to know that.
So these are order of priority, Duke, or?
Right.
So Paul's Grove first, Sonan's, Manley, Leestown Road, Benson Valley Road, and Colston Lane for the public watching. We're applying for $1.579 to.
I don't have
Speak a
that
little bit
total in
about-
front of me, but
I think
it sounds right.
you had mentioned all of these had flood damage?
No, not all of them are flood damage, no.
Okay.
Go ahead, Squire Tanner.
The match, the local funds that we match with, that come out of our county road aid fund. That's from the state, so we're
It
taking state
can,
money
is
to
my
match state
understanding.
money.
It's eligible for that.
It's eligible to use for that, okay.
Right.
Great question, Squire Tanner. Alrighty, Duke, Belinda, thank you. Belinda, you hitting on this next one too?
Yep.
You got quite a few today. You've been saving them up on us.
There's lots going on
Wow.
the last couple of weeks. This is authorization to apply for a Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation grant to fund a firefighting gear washer, extractor, and dryer. The gear washer, extractor, and dryer will be used to properly wash and decontaminate fire gear to reduce the associated risk of cancer-causing carcinogens that saturate PPE while performing firefighting operations. The equipment will be installed at the main fire station where all units report after a fire to fully clean, restock, and decontaminate all apparatus. The estimated cost of the equipment is $18,675.40, and there is no local match requirement. And Chief Brewer is here if you have any questions.
I'm gonna ask Chief a question if he doesn't mind. I remember seeing the Firehouse Subs doing other things in the past, but this is the first time we've gone after these in the washer dryer.
We applied for the washer gear extractor dryer last year through a different grant, more successful. We've applied through the Firehouse Subs before, but we haven't tried for this equipment, so we just want to give it a run there.
Okay. Squire Sebastian, I think I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. Will this be at Station 10? And then will we
Yes.
have to bring the equipment in after a fire? So if 7 goes out and responds, then they've got to, after the fire is over, do they bring everything to Station 10 and have it washed?
So,
Is that
yeah,
the
typically after,
kind
after a fire, we have spare cylinders, we have a lot of the stuff, spare hose, we stock it at Station 10. They come up there, clean all their equipment up, and then restock their trucks, and then put them back in their districts. We currently have a washer and dryer, or gear extractor and dryer at Station 8, which isn't as centrally located, and it's pushing 20 years old. So it's time that it's gonna have to be looked at being replaced. If we can have both, that's great. Gives us 2 locations, because you can only wash maybe a couple sets at a time. If you have 8 or 10 guys on a structure fire,
Right.
getting their stuff cleaned up afterwards is a task with just one washer and dryer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So for all the wives watching, that means all the firefighters know how to do laundry?
They know how to do laundry, don't
Just
let them fool
throwing it
you.
out there, boys. Just trying to get some points from the wives right now, so. Alrighty, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Alrighty, Belinda, I think you have another one. Do you have some friends with you on this one?
I do.
Yeah, they're hiding in the back row, and I figured, this had to be the one.
No, they were kind enough to come to help me today. This is an agreement with the Bluegrass Workforce Innovation Board to accept federal on-the-job training grant funds to provide training and wage reimbursement for new county employees up to $10,000 per person through June 17th, 2028. There is no local match required for the funds. And Rolando Thacker, who is the Business Services Manager, and Tiffany Reeves, the Director of Workforce Solutions with the Bluegrass Workforce Innovation Board, are here to tell you about how this funding works.
Perfect. Let's hear the pitch.
All right.
They're back there doing rock, paper, scissors, see who's gonna come up. We don't bite, I mean.
Well, I appreciate you all having us, Judge. And Judge, thank you for coming to our joint training. I saw your report, so thank you for being there.
Absolutely.
So we want to talk to you a little bit about the on-the-job training. Y'all seen it as OJT. We have acronyms for everything. It's the on-the-job training. Basically, it's a reimbursement opportunity to help you guys with hiring individuals through our program. So obviously, the way it works is that we work with you guys. We set up the agreement and things like that. But at the initial thought, I mean, we're not here to trick you guys or stump on you guys. I know a lot of people hear agreements and things like that. Really, it's just an opportunity to work with you guys and reimburse those individuals that we're going to be putting through our training. So the training outlines the heart of our program with the on-the-job training. So we would sit down with either the HR manager or the HR director or somebody here, and basically what we would do is we would come up with some skills to be learned at the work site. Once we determine those work skills to be determined at the work site is anywhere between a minimum of 4 weeks or a maximum of 24 weeks. And then what we do is we're reimbursed up to 50% of the wages they earned during that training period. Really, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, that's really it. There's, like I said, there's no hidden trickery or anything like that. It's just really to utilize our services and to create an incentive to hiring individuals that come to the Career Center.
And these funds are made available through the fact that the Education and Labor Cabinet filed for a National Dislocated Worker Grant due to the storm damage, right? So this is where these funds come from. So
if I could ask, so this isn't a program that we've done in Franklin County before, to your knowledge?
The on-the-job training?
Yeah.
We have utilized the on-the-job training with some employers here in Franklin County.
But with Fiscal Court.
But with the Fiscal Court,
Okay, that's what I thought. I don't remember seeing it or hearing it, that's what I was asking. All right, what questions does the court have for our friends? Squire Wisman.
Welcome. I used to work for the program at the ad. Is there any target focus areas? When I was there, there was a handful of priority programs and job types that was focused on. I didn't see any restrictions in the funds at all. So is it kind of anything can go?
so this specifically is going to be for the Fiscal Court.
for new hires.
For new hires, yeah.
For new hires.
But no restrictions in any type of professional level or
No,
focus area
what's-
type of job.
The way that it'll work is, if you all agree, right? If we have individuals that come through the Kentucky Career Center that meet the guidelines of your all's positions, right? We would refer them to your all's HR, they would interview and all that. Or if you all have someone that reaches out to HR and says, hey, I'd like to work with you and that we're interested in this individual, then you all would refer them to us and they would just have to fill out the our side of paperwork.
And then they meet our guidelines, if you refer them back to us, then it's just a matter of us, the business service representative, getting back with your HR and then filling out that training outline, the skills to be learned at the work site. So like, this is what it's going to take to do this skill, and then we determine an outline of how long it would take to learn those skills. And then, again, like I said, we would reimburse up to 50% of the wages earned during that training period.
I love this. I think it's awesome. I wish we did more of this. I wish we had more opportunity to do on-the-job training. I think it's great. So thank you all.
Perfect. Any other questions from the court? Thank you all for being
Thank you,
here
guys.
today.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, if it's okay with the court, we're going to jump back to Mr. Bill Cull, who is with us today. How are you doing, sir? Come on up.
I'm fine, thank you. Again, I apologize for
Oh, it's all good.
being here late, got
We
confused.
throw everybody
but,
off twice a year when we do that morning meeting,
Okay, after being here, I guess the 27th of August, back talking to you all about moving forward with the first reading we need on the ordinance that would allow new funds, $1.8 million through the bond issue you all did initially in 2007, and then 2015, 2020, the various amendments to today that would let us do a significant renovation in the Grand Theater. As we move forward, what would happen here is that we would proceed with bond lawyers and with the project. We would ultimately, there would be a bidding on the sale of the bonds, and that is a competitive process. We started with the consent of our current lender that we could move forward with them, and they would be supportive of that happening, and we think they're interested, but someone else may have a better bid on that. We did, from your consultant, Mr. Brock, we did make some amendments to sync this, these documents with the ordinance you all adopted back in December of '24 concerning the play park or whatever it's current. I'm not sure if that's the proper description of it. So that at the end of the process, when we pay it off, and again, I'm confident well before 2032 with the growth in room tax and then what I believe has been our prudent management of the Grand Theater and of the bond process, that it'll be paid off early, and right now I'd say by 2030 latest. Then you all can do something else if you choose that is allowed under the same statute, which does include projects in the inner city, like a convention facility, meeting room facility, or another arts center. Hopefully one that wouldn't put us out of business. But anyway, if there are any questions, I do my best. I'm not, I've signed stuff on bond issues, but I'm certainly not what Stites is as far as being qualified if they're detailed questions. But I think I could probably answer most questions.
So first I want to say thank you. I want to let everybody know what Bill was talking about there when he talked about Keith Brock. So our treasurer, Amy Quatman, obviously this all started many years ago. So as we're trying to kind of figure out who, what, where, she asked if it was okay to have an outside company look at all this stuff. And I'm very appreciative that the board agreed to pay for that. So I believe Amy is feeling better about where we are in this whole process. So when he was talking about hiring companies, that's what that was. So I appreciate you and the board taking that into consideration and paying for that.
And I understand why, because there would be inconsistencies between our bond documents that go back to 7 as amended and your new ordinance that would otherwise think already contemplates having this statute being administered through that process, is my understanding.
Perfect. I just want to say thank you to you and your board.
No, thank you all.
For doing that, because it makes
you're
us
helping
feel
us a lot more
better.
than that. I mean, yes, I try not to spend anything. No. You probably heard that about me, if at all possible, but anyway, we want to do that, and we will do
Squire Wisman?
Judge, a couple of things for clarification. I just wanted to state again, I'd already got a comment out in the community from someone misunderstanding after our last meeting that these are not tax dollars directly from the fiscal court, and these are not public funds really in any way in traditional sense for our operations. This is 2% of room taxes for folks staying in our hotels, our Airbnbs, other types of venues that go offset directly to the Grand Theater, right? Bill, so
to the bond holder to pay them the interest and principal on the bonds, but yes, they're again, as choices may be made, that's a very nice way if you can finance things for people from out of town. And that's these people are going to be that transients that come through, or even Airbnb, as you know, they're subject to paying this too, unless it's apartment rentals that exceed whatever it is, 90 days or something. But yes, it is room tax paid. A hotel guest will pay $100 for the room, and $2 is added that then goes into the room tax that Amy sends to us. Just starting this month, monthly, it would have been quarterly for the last however many, 16 years since the people staying in the hotel started paying for the grant. But yes.
And then Judge,
no
just
local money.
A question here on the document, Section 1, Item C. It says pursuant to a 2024 ordinance, the Franklin County Revenue Commission. I don't think that's a correct term. Should that be the Sports Commission? We don't have a Revenue Commission.
I'm sorry, where are you again?
Section 1 of the agreement, Item C.
Paragraph E.
Pursuant to a 2024 ordinance, and it's in this document and the next one, the Franklin County Revenue Commission is directed to collect and distribute special tax directly to the corporation after being deducted customary fees and ordinary expenses. I think that should be ideally the Sports Commission, I'm assuming.
I think your guy worked with ours. I admit, I can't, you're asking him, not me, first of all, but
Yeah.
I believe that that must be in the ordinance you all adopted, because we can certainly look at that, but I believe Mr. Brock did work with our bond lawyers to make that amendment with language that he said properly put together this, but I don't have the ordinance
Squire,
myself.
let me highlight that, and I'll call, or Amy can call maybe Keith Brock, and we'll get that clarified.
Yeah.
We didn't create a revenue commission.
No,
This is
I
something
know,
that-
but yeah, let's,
Yeah.
we'll double check that before we sign it if this were to pass,
Before the
yes.
second reading, yeah.
Yep, Squire Tanner, you had your hand up, I believe?
I did have a question about, these bonds are quite a long period. So if the revenue at 2% is far more than needed to pay for these bonds, where does that excess revenue go?
It will pay for the bonds, it will pay early for the bonds.
It will pay them
and
off
it'll pay-
early? Some bonds
We
won't
don't
pay.
get the money, we don't get any of the room
Well,
tax.
that's fine, even
I
if
know.
you did, I just want to know where it went, because if you could pay these bonds off a lot earlier if all the money goes to the reducing the bond issue.
Well, we
Some
are,
bonds
it's
won't let
just
you
that
pay 'em early.
when you do the amortization, the bond buyers want to have it conservative, where they know that there's enough money to make the payments, and if there's more money, that's just, their
So you can
collateral is more
You
secure.
could reduce this issue far quicker than the period it is issued for.
We
Yeah,
will
I
pay
believe
off,
he's saying
we will
even-
pay off
Even if
quicker.
this were to pass, they're still gonna have it probably paid off at this rate 2 years prior. Is that correct?
Yeah,
or
well, that's what
more
I say
possibly.
now, but of course, it does depend on if the room tax continues to grow, as you all believe the activities that
Absolutely.
the city and county are doing here are gonna do, it will be earlier. I mean, for us, we're done when after this. I mean, we will have the ability to do the work, but then we want it paid off as soon as you want it. I mean, and again, we don't get to use the money. So, I mean,
that
I
wasn't
actually
the
believe
question.
it'll 2029. I just don't want to talk too big, about it, because there is a change. Last year, the room tax grew considerably. Will it continue, or will we get to a level where it's stable? Will something else happen? I don't think we're going to close the country again if we have some kind of COVID-like outbreak. Don't you think? It's not going to be, I mean, unless people are truly, dying in the street or something like that,
I wouldn't bet against it.
Huh?
And then Squire Tanner, I think kind of to add on to that, so once that is paid off, that percentage comes back to the fiscal court, and at that point, we decide as a body, to put it towards a convention center, to put it towards another museum, but it has to be in the downtown district.
So
just to let you know.
So this room tax at the end of this bond issue does not automatically end.
No, it continues, and then we are the body that dictates where it goes next.
But you would have to dictate its use somewhere
Yes.
else. It just won't
Yeah.
sit in the bank,
Yeah, it's a separate.
when
it's
the
a
bonds are
separate-
paid off.
So it does not sunset, that's the only thing I
Correct.
ask.
That's correct.
I hope you don't sunset it. I think you'll have something good to do with it myself, but that's not
20
going to be
years from now, I
my
might not care.
decision. Yeah.
Squire Dacus, you have your hand up? Oh, I'm sorry, Squire Wiseman.
Judge, I just thought it important to mention that, we're hopeful this schedule is good for that, but at the same time, I think we'd be remiss if we don't talk about some of the things that are going on nationally, and, that we're seeing estimates are about a 30% drop all of a sudden since January in our local hotel stays and the traffic and tourism that's coming here. I think that hasn't been said anywhere publicly yet, but how federal policies are directly affecting our community in something like $80,000, or no, sorry, I think it was $80,000 that were canceled since January to like April in direct bookings here locally from international tourists. So this may be a time to state that we're seeing some really drastic impact from some of the federal policies on our
And maybe it is at this
isn't seen or
point,
talked about publicly anywhere.
through your payment that was received by Fifth Third on the 10th of September, it has continued to grow. I'm not saying that isn't going to happen, because it had so dramatically grown last year that even if it flattens out, or even if there is a slight decline, I don't think there's evidence, whether it's Buffalo Trace is the reason, or, whatever, since
So all of our international tourists.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, that there are
locally and
issues,
nationwide,
but
so.
let's hope we do better there.
Right,
but
I just thought that
anyway.
was a pertinent time to state that.
Amy, I'm gonna go ahead and ask right now, do you have anything to add to this conversation? I know Bill and the grant have been through multiple committees, and I think we're pretty familiar with what's in front of us, but I want to hear from you. Is everything okay? Do you feel good with what Compass came back and reported, things like, you know?
Yeah, I was happy to have Keith Brock to help me along with this because I was not here and many of you weren't here when we established this with the grant. And I want to share because this was helpful to me. Keith said, we're a conduit on this. Save the Grant as a 501c3. They're eligible to take advantage of tax-exempt bonds. And in order to do that, to get a lower rate, they come through us. So we're simply the conduit here.
Okay, any questions on these items in front of us as far as the grant? I can't say enough good things about the grant, and I believe, Bill, it'd be a great pitch right now. So Friday night, there's a fundraiser, is that right?
Well, I believe so, yes.
It was a little last minute from what I've heard.
Yes, there's a fundraiser for, I guess, East Kentucky flood victims.
Yeah, so I believe the governor is going to be doing a thing there Friday night.
I'm told you are too.
I'm sorry?
I'm told you are too.
That's what I'm hearing too. That's what I'm hearing too. So, but it's basically, I believe they did a documentary of our recent floods. It's going to be played at the Grand that night. The governor's hoping for a lot of people to show up, raise some money for the state fund to help everybody, let it be London or Eastern Kentucky or even Franklin County. And then afterwards, I believe there's a roundtable that the governor is going to ask the mayor and I a bunch of questions about the flood and how we navigated it. So everybody obviously is invited to that. So Bill, thank you for being here. And I guess we're going to go ahead and jump. We've kind of taken care of those.
Judge, why don't you state where we get tickets, and it's the film Rising?
The film is Rising. And Bill, how are you handling tickets? I'm not that far.
James Hatchett works for the governor, I guess, is advised they're being sold to Eventbrite.
Okay.
To it by them, and that they really manage. We're providing the theater and the screen and the projector and all that stuff, but it's really more run by the governor's office.
Okay.
On it, how it works. But the film we're to open at 5, the film's to be at 6. It's an hour long, and then there's the panel discussion at the end of the film that you're talking about with the governor moderating it. Yep. So it'll be, since he was Attorney General, the first time he's been in as far as I know, unless he was there, and I didn't know he was there. But anyway, so he will be hosting that.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you very much. I just learned something about it too. Alrighty. The next one we're going to have Jack talk about, but I believe we're still talking about that change order with Codell Construction. That's still being negotiated. So if it's okay with the court, when we get to the voting session, I'll need somebody to table that. We really have no news on that change order from Codell Construction. So, but because we had said it was going to be on this, we have to go through the protocols and table it again. So, Jack, I'm going to ask you, you want to put on the next one, or you want?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so when we get a voting session, we'll just say that'll be in our next item. I believe, yeah, Amy's up next. I don't want to interrupt him. Alrighty. Amy, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
So I have the second reading of the First Amendment. First Amendment to the budget. It has been approved by the Department of Local Government. And just to summarize this, we're increasing it by the budget by $3.6 million, bringing it to $67,855,643.
Anybody have any questions for Amy on this agenda item? Alrighty, next.
The next agenda item is the authorization to do a cash transfer. I usually do cash transfers on a quarterly basis, and we're moving funds from the general fund to jail, fire, and sheriff. And this does not affect the budget.
Brian Wisman.
Amy, could you give us a rundown and description of what the general purpose is of each transfer?
Are you referring to the cash transfer? Okay, so in the jail and fire and sheriff, if you'll remember back to our budget, they do not receive enough revenue on their own to be able to operate through the fiscal year. So we budget money from the general fund to, and like I said, I do this quarterly, to move into those funds.
Is there any special projects or anything related to the transfers? I'm thinking like for example, the cameras and the jail fund cash transfer. Is there any correlation between?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, next.
And then the next agenda item, you'll see the the revenues and the expenses as of September 19th.
And like I always like to ask you, is anything sticking out? I know this is pretty kind of consistent as we look at these. Are you feeling like anything's off in expenses or revenue right now?
No, I monitor it now. You know, this is 3 months. We don't have all the revenue for September in yet. So these are not final numbers for September, even though this is the final meeting for September. The expenses are in here. The only thing, and I've mentioned this before, is we are paying upfront expenses for the judicial center for the flood repair. So that, you know, those expenses are there with no revenue, but we're working on that. We're actively working on getting reimbursement for that.
And to let the court know, we had a good meeting yesterday about an MOA that ER Assist is helping us with. County attorney was in there also as far as trying to get all the, we need to make sure what expenses we're paying for up front, that, you know, it's eligible to be reimbursed through AOC or FEMA. So I'm appreciative that the court did hire ER Assist because they have been a big help navigating all that. So I think they're getting close to, there's an RFP right out now for a construction manager. Trying to figure out how they're going to rebuild that downstairs, but I appreciate Amy's help with all that because it's a lot right now. So, any other questions for Amy on the treasurer's report? All right, Amy, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I believe, is payment of claims. Anybody have any questions for our clerk, Squire Sebastian?
Thank you, Judge. On the page 1 of the jail fund bills, 03-5101-411 will be the one that stands out. It appears that we're buying bleach at the jail. So are we to intuit that, I guess, the bleach maker is not working there anymore?
I'm not sure
They
they
have
left
an
it.
on-site bleach maker that they raved about buying, and
They didn't, the previous
that
court did,
that
yes.
was going to be used at the jail to produce bleach as they needed it.
Right. Right.
So just asking that question, maybe.
We'll have to follow up with the jailer on that because I don't know. I do know during COVID and all that, the only thing that I learned was that what they made there was only good for
So
24, 48
experience.
hours. Yes, yes. But, yeah, we can, Kim, if you don't mind, could you make a note and contact Jailer Hopper and maybe ask her about Squire Sebastian's questions? It's
just
a great question.
A lot of bleach.
Absolutely.
And if they've got a maker, they can
I agree.
make it when they need to make it.
I agree.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Squire Wisman.
Judge, I was echoing that comment, $378 for bleach when we have a bleach maker on site was a surprise. Judge, just generally more of a general comment. I'm noticing bills quite often that we're having, you know, quick purchases. I'm seeing a lot at the jail, some at the fire of things in repeat, typically through either Amazon, Walmart, or Lowe's. And, you know, we need to be mindful that multiple purchase over a long period of time can still constitute a larger amount through a single bidder or a single entity that should have been bid. If we had an instance of $3,000, I think, for the jail, I'm not finding it right now with our new pads where I had it earmarked, but you know, that was from Amazon, or no, sorry, that was through the parks. Amazon alone, $3,000. You know, a little bit more spent there next month probably should have been a bid situation. And seeing things like paper towels bought $869 or $868 through Global Supply and Floor Equipment, and then more paper towels for $187 $82 at Walmart, and more paper towels for $52 at Walmart. I know we have contracts in place for providers to supply certain things, but it seems like we're getting a little loose about kind of just going out and having things purchased at local big boxes when there's a need or a quick demand that I'm worried is getting into a gray area about where we should and shouldn't bid out those items when they are looked at as a whole year's expenses through a singular company. And again, it's primarily those three. I really don't like us using Amazon at all, since they don't have a local foothold. Walmart and Lowe's, as big box stores, preferably we use a local store. We've talked about the local preference ordinance we have in place and for purchasing quite often. But I just want to point that out again, that I'm getting concerned that we're seeing those replicated far too often when we may have some other provider already in place that we should be buying from or that we've approved a contract with.
Yep.
So,
all good. Yeah, it'd be worth, I'll have a conversation with the department heads and see if we can't kind of rein that back in. All right, any other questions for Kim on payment of claims?
Very good point, but I think it needs to go, they ought to be buying.
All righty, seeing none, authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, and dismissal of an individual employee.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, court, we're going into closed session. All right, thank you. All right, a motion to go back into open session.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We're in open session, court. Thank you.
Motion and second.
One, three.
One, motion, three, seconded.
Next agenda item is to hire, we're gonna make a change here, one light equipment operator. Any questions? Anybody want to talk about anything on that? Seeing none. Next one is, I believe, Jack, authorization to approve the salary adjustment of payroll clerk. Next agenda item. Jack, since you have two back-to-back, we'll go ahead and do payroll clerk and
Sure.
do part-time building inspector next.
Morning. How are y'all?
Go ahead.
Morning, Court.
Morning, morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
Little history. We've been working on adjusting the salaries for most of the county employees throughout the last couple of years. The payroll clerk is obviously vital to this county and making sure that all of the county employees are paid on time. But also has been extremely vital just in the last few months as we've needed to pick up some extra things and investigate and research a few things. So the ask is to raise her pay rate. This was brought to Finance Committee, I believe, 8 or 9 days ago. And then also it's been discussed with Amy to make sure that everything that we're doing is within, even though it's not budgeted, it is still within the payroll budget, and we can do these and not only for the next 9 months, but for the following years and things like that. So the ask is to raise is to adjust the payroll clerk's salary to $30 an hour.
Okay, any questions on that agenda item that Jack's presenting? All right, next.
Next is a payroll adjustment for our part-time building inspector. As everyone knows, we brought in our part-time building inspector about a year and a half ago or so. That was a very tough person to find, and luckily we found a diamond in the rough with a Class 3 building inspector that was retired out of Georgetown, who has been fantastic. And I will note that even throughout the flood, when the city was without a building inspector, he went over there and helped them 3 days a week as well. So well and above his calling. So I am asking that we adjust his pay rate as well. And this pay rate, it just takes it to a consistent pay rate with our other inspectors. It bumps him up to be the same hourly rate as like our electrical inspector and things like that.
Is this the one that's part-time?
Yes.
That's what I thought. So there's no
No benefits, no nothing. And then again, discussed with Amy, made sure that it was all well within budget. So we should be in good shape.
All right, any questions for Jack on this agenda item?
We have to retain our people, so.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. This one may. Okay. So Amy's saying that this one may require a budget transfer later on down the road. If we'll see what that does, but it may require a transfer later.
Yep. All righty. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
All righty. Squire Sebastian? This other business?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next, sorry, thank you. Next agenda, I want to make sure it wasn't something for that.
Okay.
Next agenda item is other business. Anybody have any other business? And Squire Sebastian.
Yeah, thank you, Judge. I'm just going to ask the court if they would go ahead and put November 23rd on your calendar for volunteering at Access to kick off their Thanksgiving week meal preparation. We've done that now multiple years in the past, and I've talked to Brian and got us on a calendar for the 23rd of November. And no one will need to report till about 11:30 or noon that day, because as you know, the meal is served later on a Sunday between 2 and 3, so.
Good stuff there.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you for setting that up, Squire Sebastian. That's awesome. Squire Harrod?
We were just talking about the road department yesterday, where we were talking about the salary moves down there to bring everything up to 20. Do we need to talk about that now, or?
We'll be on the next agenda.
Okay.
Run that through finance committee.
Yeah, I just wanted to make people aware we were looking at doing that.
Yep, that'll be on the next agenda item. Yep, Squire, Tanner, do you have your hand up? Or is that?
No, that was
Okay.
it. It was a road department
Okay,
committee
gotcha.
meeting we had, and he brought up the
Okay.
issue that we just got, well, several issues, but
Perfect.
that was one of them.
Yep, Squire Wisman?
Judge, can we take a step back to expenses real quick? I wanted to ask, the reoccurring expenses document is traditionally supposed to be just reoccurring expenses that are digital transactions for the most part, right? But we have the $500,000 fact district transfer in that, and in my mind, that really is an inappropriate place for that to be. I realize that was probably a digital transfer to make it faster.
Yeah.
But that should have not, in my mind, that should not appear there, and we've had some warnings at trainings that, we should really scrutinize things that are called recurring expenses and that are paid digitally, even though I realize there's been a change at the state level to allow that more commonly, but I'm wondering if maybe we need to come up with a different reporting system that has those one-time expenses that are digital now should be reflected some other place than just in the reoccurring line items. So just a comment on that. I'm still concerned about generally that whole project, but more so right now that is not in the appropriate area to be reporting to us. So, and then also on the heels of some of the discussion we've just had, I've brought it up multiple times, and I appreciate the Finance Committee is reviewing things and other committees are reviewing things, but I'm elected to be the Fiscal Court, one of the 7 members that makes all financial decisions for the Fiscal Court. And, the appearance of changing salary schedules and doing things to retain employees, we need to do. It's fantastic. I think we need to bring the level up countywide for most employees. But it looks like, or the appearance is that we're cherry picking people. And I've been asking about a compensation study for 2.5 years at this point. I'm wondering if ever we're going to have a discussion about, looking as a body instead of independently in small groups of our body, about what we can do and where we are with our employees. I'm afraid that we've had discussions the last several meetings about people leaving, longtime employees leaving. We're trying to have retention of hiring or of employees, but we're constantly hiring in some departments. And if we don't do it soon, I'm thinking we're going to be too far behind and be in a critical point in the very near future for employees. So I would like to make that happen still.
Okay. I think it's something we can talk about at one of our committee meetings. I do know,
I'm not asking for committee meetings, Judge. I'm specifically saying.
Can you let me finish speaking, please? I didn't cut you off.
Sure.
I was going to commend our department heads for when they do bring things to us. Chief Brewer is in the audience, and he's a prime example. He did a very, very thorough job of doing his own comparison of multiple counties around us, the city, other agencies. So I feel like we are kind of independently doing each department as we bring things to you. I know this court, and I want to thank this court, has probably given more compensating, studies, things to consideration as far as we've given a lot of pay increases. Road department, I see a road superintendent out there, and we're continuing to look things. I think post-COVID, everything's changed.
Agreed.
Everyone's fighting for employees, private sectors, it's not just we're going to come work for the county and retire there. People are moving. They're moving agencies. Or sheriff's department sees it a lot too. People jumping and bouncing around. So I do feel like we are doing a very good job as far as keeping our employees up. We're looking at assistant child care. We're listening to our employees as far as what they need, and we're trying to give them exactly what they want. I can't speak for every department. Maybe not every department is running as well as it potential, but we can only control the things we can control. But I think it'd be good to have a department head meeting to kind of talk about things and see what their thoughts are moving forward with something like that. So that's kind of where I am on that. Squire Sebastian?
Thank you, Judge. If it's appropriate to make a comment in regard to what you said. So I will also say, having some prior experience with the court, where a payroll study was actually commissioned by the body and brought to us, that unfortunately did not live up to what it should have at the time, because we were told by employees that they did not have the opportunity to give input that they needed to, et cetera. And so, and that was unfortunate. And so I think various departments, even during that time, came to us, and adjustments were made to the salaries, and a rigorous discussion with the department heads as well as employees to right-size that. I think this court has done a very good job hearing from the department heads to right-size departments. I do think that there have been a few things that in the past may have been overlooked, and that has been the attempt by this body to bring some of those up to a standard. Ones we've had before us today are doing a considerable amount of work outside of the specter of what their original intent to be hired was. They have stepped in. Not saying that they're not cross-trained, because we cross-train a number of staff here. And I think this body is doing a great job to hear from its employees, to listen to what they say, and that is all employees across the spectrum, whether they work in this downtown office, whether they work in other offices that are not here. We should hear from them and then accordingly step forward. So just adding
I
that.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, any other business?
Yeah, Judge.
Go ahead, Squire Wisman.
End of our bills, there's 10 pay raises for the jail. Have all of those went into effect already? Most of them were the 8th. We have approved some. I don't know if that we've approved all of these, or is this the request to approve all of these at this time? Could somebody clarify? There's 10 additional duties, responsibilities, assignments, changes, promotions, mostly promotions.
I believe those are all in effect. I'll have to ask the payroll clerk to see.
Have we reviewed those in the past to approve them yet, or is this the
Showing an
approval now?
effective date, so it have to be in.
Yeah. We always have this process seemingly so far where, those come to us approved and then they show up on the bills for the next term. I'm asking, did we approve all of these as a body, or have those already been put in place and then we're now approving them retroactively?
Max, can you help input on this? I thought we had talked about, because it's in the budget and there's placements, they don't have to come in front of us, is that correct?
It depends upon what type of raise it is. For promotions, that's at the jailer's discretion. She can promote employees into other positions. For performance raises, those have to come before the court. That's set forth in the administrative code. So it depends on the type of raise. So if you're getting promoted from one position to another, that's the jailer's discretion to promote employees. As far as if you're talking about, I'm going to give Joe Smith another $2 an hour because they're a great employee, that has to come before the fiscal court.
Well, the reason I'm pointing this out, a couple of these positions, it says a promotion, but I know they've not changed jobs or titles or anything. And some of them are fairly drastic. I mean, we have a 21% increase on one of these, and others in a far ranging. And we're not seeing, and I've asked this, and I've sort of let it go for the last few months, but I've asked time and time and time and time again that we have something that's brought before this court about what the basis is for these promotions and changes, that we approve or have at least a basis to review when we're approving them. We did write into the admin code, and I think it got a little blurred by the final draft, Richard and I, when we worked on it, that new hires were at the will of the jailer, but all promotions were subject to review and approval by the court. I think that did not come out in the final draft just exactly, but I'm concerned about approving these, particularly some of the higher level management that seem to be getting a fairly significant raise, and it's being called a promotion, but they've not changed positions. So I don't know how it's a promotion. I don't have anything to base it on other than the name, the title, and the rate and the effective date that's on this document. So I'm kind of of the opinion I'd like to pull all of these. I mean, I've asked for this and asked for it and said, fine, we'll go ahead and give the raises because they've been promised, but I'm at the point that I don't want to do that anymore until we start getting the documentation that we've asked for.
Max, what are thoughts? I mean, because these are all down as promotions, basically. So what are your thoughts as far as what we can and cannot do?
Like I said, if it's promotion, that's at the jailer's discretion.
What type is it? You just said we had two types, though, that one is at our
Performance
discretion.
raise, so if you have a performance raise, you're not changing positions, you're staying in the same position, and I want to give you $2 more an hour because I think you're a wonderful employee, that's a performance raise. So that comes in front of the fiscal court. If you're moving from, I don't know, sergeant to captain or whatever, that's a promotion, and that's done at the jailer's discretion.
I guess, let me ask you.
So there's a difference in the type of.
Let me ask this. There's two deputy positions that have not changed jobs, and it's listed as a promotion. It should, in my mind, what you're saying right now is it's a performance raise that is subject to review by us, but it's written as a promotion here. These people have not changed positions. They're in their leadership roles, without saying names, but these are deputies that are listed as promotions. There's no determiner
I don't know
here.
if they're promotions or not, as I'm sitting here.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know either, right?
Yeah.
From my reflection, this is just information purposes. We don't approve anything.
No, that's not, that is absolutely not what we wrote in the admin code and what we intended that admin code to, or the policy procedure manual for the jail to be. And we've had that discussion as this body.
That's not the county's admin code, period. The county's admin code specifically speaks about performance raises and promotions.
And the jail purposely conflicted, and we said it took precedent because it
Like
was
in-
updated more recently. So-
I'm saying,
Well, I'm just,
I'm telling you the way the code is written, performance, so if they're getting promotions, that's one thing. If they're getting performance raises, that's something else. As we're sitting here right now, I couldn't tell you because this is the first time I'm learning of this. So like I said,
Can I ask a question? What is the definition of a promotion? Does the person, I mean, does their title have to change?
There's not that many titles over there. We put that in
I mean,
there.
it seems to me that you
I
could say
think
anything
from
was
the
a
fire department
promotion.
perspective, their title changes, their job changes, that's a promotion.
I mean, I would assume that
Jail, I
there,
cannot answer for.
I would assume there would be a job title change and that there would be enhanced duties, right? Where they took on more responsibility. And so I think, do we have a definition for that somewhere?
Well, and that's, I forget, Jack just brought to my attention, a lot of these are sheriff's department. They're not the jail.
No, they're not.
So there's some of these that are sheriff's department, so
Yeah, some of them are.
we're not just calling one thing out. I guess, Max, let me ask you this, can we ask for, because it would be interesting to know why somebody got a promotion. I mean, is that?
I mean,
okay
that's
for-
our obligation. Judge, I bring it up because this court has talked multiple times through now 3 jailers that we didn't want just willy-nilly personal favor raises. We wanted some review process that was fair and consistent, and that it wasn't a system whereby, an exiting jailer gave everyone a promotion and we couldn't do anything
I
about
agree,
it,
but I
right?
think one of the things that we did work on was establishing how many positions of what there was, and we set their budget. So, I mean, there's we have to work with jail statewide policies too, as far as what we're allowed
But
to
we
do and
we
whatnot.
put into place exactly the positions,
Yeah.
titles, I mean, that is defined by
So why
this
don't
body.
we request who's in what position currently today?
Well, that's what I've been asking for,
Okay.
the last 6 months, a
That's fine.
year, is that these positions need to come with more than just this. We're getting this.
Yep.
But I want to see who's in which position, who's moving around. If they're
Yeah.
being given a promotion, ideally, they should be moving positions.
Yeah, we can get that.
I need some of that, and I'm not going to be able to vote for this as it is.
Okay.
Unless we have more basis.
Tanner?
I have a question and suggestion, maybe. I believe it's that we review and revise that policies and procedures manual for the jail each year.
Correct.
So my suggestion would be that we take a look at that again as our review process goes on and put some of these issues that Squire Wistman has brought up in there, and asked the jailer, whoever that might be at the time, they should follow that. We also added in there that they would follow our administrative code if it was not covered under the P and P. That's on there. I don't know whether that's happening or, we don't need to micromanage anything, but we need to at least know what's going on. And so, it's pretty broad that the jailer's gonna have authority to do what they want to do, but we should know what's going on regardless. So maybe we can beef that up a little bit, and we need to review that and get started on it sometime in the near future.
Yep. I think we're all on the same page. Okay, any other business? I do want to make sure, and I believe Jenny sent out this morning, we just got, yesterday or something, next Monday is the 9 millionth barrel at Buffalo Trace, and they're having, I'm sorry, 2 o'clock? Thank you, Squire. And so she had sent that to you all this morning. I went to the 7 or 8 million, and there's a lot of people, and it's kind of cool. So if you're able to make it, but we should definitely be proud of Buffalo Trace doing that for the 9 millionth barrel. So that's pretty cool. So that's all I have. So if it's okay with the court, we're going to go into voting session.
Judge, could I get a clarification? Can we split these? I'd like to, we sort of just generally have a request if there's any discrepancies with the bills. Can I split out those, or can we do something about, do we have the ability to wait on these jail
I don't
raises?
know. I think per the clerk, this is informational purposes, and it sounds like they're already getting paid.
Since August.
They are, and we
You know?
discussed this happening before,
Yeah.
and we were told we couldn't
This is the
retroactively
info
take their
packet,
pay
this is
away.
not the bill
Yeah.
deal. which is
So
good
can we
stuff.
make it an expectation that there will be no more pay raises put into the system and automatically done before we've reviewed and approved them?
But if it's promotion in our admin code, it doesn't have to follow
If it
that.
follows the code currently, fine, but if it's ones that we need to approve, but as it is, I have no definition to tell me what's what, right? So we have one word definitions of a reason. So
We'll talk to our department heads and see if we can't get some explanations across the board, and that just not be for jail, it could be for,
Yeah.
why a deputy got, promotion, or why somebody at the fire department did, so I don't think that's unrealistic at all, so, okay. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and start the voting session. So today is September 24th, 2025, and this is our voting session, so clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian.
Here.
Squire Blackburn.
Present.
Squire Dykus.
Here.
Squire Harrod.
Here.
Squire Tanner.
Here.
Squire Wistman.
present.
Judge Miller.
Present. Thank you, clerk. Authorization for approval of minutes from the special meeting of September 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of September 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Judge, I'm going to vote nay on that one, the first one, for the reasons I
Yep.
recommended earlier.
Motion passes. Authorization to receive the amended 2024 Sheriff's Fourth Quarterly Report.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to award a bid to Liberty Telephone, sole bidder for the cameras at the jail.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Judge, I just had a question there I just thought of. We don't, if the items that are being removed, the old cameras, if they're going to be removed and disposed of by Liberty, we need to surplus those just before it happens. We're not as part of this, so they need to be retained, and we need to make an official surplus order with serial numbers. Just a thought of that popped in my head.
Okay. I gotta remember, did I ask for a vote on that already?
You did.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, clerk. Authorization to approve a resolution of the Fiscal Court of County of Franklin, Kentucky County authorizing, approving, and directing the execution of the necessary documentation for the county to participate in the National Opioid Litigation Settlement with Alvagian, Amnil, Apatox, Hickma, I don't know these names, I'll say, Invidor, I don't know, Mylan Son, and y'all mess with me now. Approval of secondary manufacturers, combined subdivision participation and release form.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Oh, now this one, y'all are just really messing with me.
Enjoy this.
Drink water here. First reading of an ordinance of the County of Franklin, Kentucky in conjunction with one, the amended of ordinance number 2024-12, which relates to the collection, distribution, and enforcement of a transient room tax. 2, the amended ordinance number 15, series 2006, which relates to the enhancement of an additional transient room tax of 2% pursuant to authority of KRS 91A3921 to be applied to the retirement of the proposed dedicated tax revenue bonds in the amount sufficient to provide net bond proceeds not to exceed $3 million for the purpose of financing renovations, repairs, reconstruction, and equipment of the Grand Theater situated in the Central Business District of Frankfort, Kentucky, to constitute a fine arts center useful to the promotion of tourism, and the ordinance which further amended by ordinance number 8, series 2015, which relates to the application of the additional transit room tax of the County of Franklin, Kentucky, dedicated to the tax revenue refund funds, series 2015, Save the Grand Theater project, which were intended to refund the County of Franklin, Kentucky, adjusted rate dedicated tax revenue bond, series 2007, Save the Grand Theater Project, Inc., for which the additional transient room tax was adopted. This amendment concerns the application of the additional transient room tax to the County of Franklin, Kentucky, dedicated tax revenue and revenue bonds, series 2025, Save the Grand Theater project, in the amount not to exceed $1,800,000, which are intended to finance the renovation, repair, reconstruction, and equipment of the Grand Theater and a refund portion of the County of Franklin, Kentucky, dedicated to tax revenue bond, series 2015, Save the Grand Theater project. No vote at this time.
You gotta read it again.
Lord, I was thinking about it. I was sitting there thinking, how do we scale that down next meeting? Y'all are killing me. Alrighty, next, first reading of the ordinance of Franklin, Kentucky related to the sale of insurance and up to $1,800,000 County of Franklin, Kentucky, dedicated tax revenue refunded bonds, series 2025, Save the Grand Theater project, acknowledging the previous imposition of the additional 2% transient room tax to be applied to the retirement of bonds, authorizing the execution of delivery of the bond purchase and loan agreement among the county, Save the Grand Theater, Inc., and the purchaser of the bonds and related documents, authorizing the sale of the bonds and taking other related actions. No vote at this time. Authorization to approve, next agenda item, Authorization to approve a memorandum of understanding and with the use of agencies receiving opioids funds from Franklin County Fiscal Court.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to table item 10.
Thank you very much. Before I read it, I appreciate that, Squire.
I'd like to second that motion.
All those in favor of tabling number 10?
Aye.
And that will be to our next meeting. You want to do it next?
Yes, assuming they want to continue.
Okay, so tentatively, we'll do it on our next
Thank you, Judge.
October 15th. Thank you very much, Squire. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the county judge executive to make application to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for rural and municipal aid for a county priority projects program grant.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the filing of an application to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation grant for the Franklin County Fire Department.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an agreement with Bluegrass Workforce Innovation Board to accept federal OJT grant funds to provide training and wage reimbursement for new county employees up to $10,000 per employee.
So moved.
Second.
Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to table item 14, the authorization for the change order.
I'd like to second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion passes to table that to our October 15th meeting. That's our next meeting, right? Okay, just making sure. Thank you, Squire. Second reading approval of an amendment number 1 to ordinance number 4-2025 relating to budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the cash transfer for fiscal year 2025-2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any payment of claims? No motion was made. Let the record reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to hire Greg Grimes as a light equipment operator.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Next agenda item, just need to, guess is there a motion to remove the next agenda item? Do I have to remove it, or we just vote it down, I guess? Authorization to hire Matthew Franklin as light equipment operator driver. I mean, we
I thought
missed,
it was withdrawn.
yeah, but I mean, do we have to do it in the voting session? Max, do we have to do that in here? I thought we had to still do it in here to withdraw it.
If it's been completely withdrawn,
Yeah,
I think
That-
probably
It was
still-
not brought forward
Okay.
to the court,
perfect,
so
okay.
it's not,
All right, just want to
it
make
was
sure.
withdrawn by staff.
Yep, thank you. Authorization to approve a salary adjustment for the payroll clerk.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the salary adjustment for a part-time building inspector.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Question. Are we fixing to go and adjourn? No,
Well, we're gonna
adjourn.
recess for our road
Order
trip.
recess.
You need something?
Yeah, I want to understand what happened on 21 when we passed over that. I thought we made a decision to hire one of those gentlemen.
We did. We voted on 21. We took 22 off.
22.
We kept
21.
21 had,
It
would have
had
had
on
two
there, yeah.
motions.
So we didn't
It
amend
was
that?
withdrawn,
It was withdrawn. but-
only one was brought forward by staff, not two individuals.
That's
So we
correct,
only did
that's
one.
correct, but I didn't, okay, that's what I thought was
So there
going
was
on, but
no-
I want to make
Yeah.
sure I understood it
There's a
correctly.
missing
Staff
number in
withdrew
our,
it before.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
number 20 is missing in our packet. It skips from 19 as well. It skips from 18 to 21.
But 20 is just a return to open session.
Yeah, it's on there.
So it's the, yeah.
Alrighty, authorization to recess for our fall road trip.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are recessed for our road trip. Thank you, Court.
I gotta have a lesson.